Okay. Oh, hey, I'm here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Afternoon. Good afternoon from morning. We were all at morning at some point. Now we're afternoon. So I had an epiphany earlier this week, and I thought, since it kind of occurred to me that I'm the minister and I'm doing the talk today, and what happens is I just sit somewhere and then I come up and I do a conversation and then I leave, but I feel like I'm the host. So I wanted to welcome everybody here myself personally, and I invite you all, just take a stand for a moment, if you will. If it's possible for you to stand up, just stand up, and I just invite you to just look around and see each other. Just, you don't have to shake hands. I'm not going to make you say hello to anybody, but just let's get present to one another, know that we're here, we're in this room together. We are unity after all. Yeah, so it's great to welcome you here. I'm so grateful for all of you coming in today and being with us. And so now I will let our fabulous musicians take over and I'll run away. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different than the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony in one great symphony. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together together in love.
Good morning. If we are to have cameras and slides, we will have cameras and slides. In the meantime, it's just what's that? Camera's working? Slides aren't. Oh, okay. So welcome, no matter where you are on this planet or in this galaxy, no matter where you are in your spiritual path, you are more than welcome here today. We shall begin by just taking a brief moment to acknowledge that we are situated here in Nanaimo on the traditional and unceded territory of the Sununemo First Nation. And I invite you, no matter where you are in our country, to take a moment to familiarize yourself with the First Nation on whose land you are working and praying and creating and all that good stuff. We are grateful for the working relationship we have together. And now would you just join me for a prayer this morning? I would like to read an excerpt from Charles Fillmore's Keep It True Lent that I think in this time when our world is the way it is, that this reading is particularly profound for our world as well as ourselves as individuals. And if you would join me in the silence. Love is that mighty power, that divine quality of God that is expressing through all mankind and cannot be suppressed by any outside force. I now firmly declare that it is expressing through me and that no environmental or external condition can hinder it. Any unloving condition of the world is no bar to my to my exercise of love. In fact, it is an incentive. I am not afraid to pour out my love on all the so-called evil of the world. I deny the appearance of evil and affirm the omnipotence of love and goodness. The word love overcomes hate, resistance, opposition, obstinacy, anger, jealousy, and all other error states where there is mental or physical friction. As divine love enters into the thought process, every cell of my body is poised and balanced in space, in right mathematical order as to weight and relative distance. In quietness and confidence, I affirm the love that is God fills me with new life. I am cleansed, strengthened, and healed. And so it is. And now I think we've earned some music.
Gather round me, everybody. Gather round me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming on me. The topic will be sin, and that's what I'm again. If you wanna hear my story, then settle back and just sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You've got to accentuate the positive, Am I the right? Sorry.
Accentuate the positive,
Eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, and have faith, or pandemonium's liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said you gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, no, no. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can change my mind. God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
Thank you. I believe that was probably the first Daniel Namod song that we sang here. And as soon as I said that word, your ears all went prickly, didn't they? Daniel Namod, Daniel Namod. Because now we sing probably 25 or 30 of his songs on a regular basis. And next week, we're going to hear hundreds of his songs in person. And I was messing around Eventbrite the other night and seeing what else is on in Nanaimo, and I see there's an evening with such and such, an evening with such and such singers I've never heard of in a local club someplace, and they're $35 and $54. So $25 for Daniel Namod is a deal. So steal. Okay. Our words of wisdom this morning is on the other side. This is from one of my favorite authors, playwrights, and people, George Bernard Shaw. This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. You don't think that's funny? I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. And so it is, another song. After which we will welcome our own Reverend Thomas T. to the platform for his talk this morning.
Yes.
I said so.
When I'm feeling down and blue, I found a trick that I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. Wake up with a bad attitude, fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment, it's all up to me. 'Cause what I think about, I bring about, that's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day I pave the way with every little thought I think. What you thinking, what what you thinking? 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 You gotta watch your thinking, 'cause when I'm feeling down and blue, I found a trick that I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. If I wake up with a bad attitude, I fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
I dig it. I dig it.
Thank you. Amazing. Hello again. Hey, Marie, do you think that audio thing's going to work? No? Probably not. Okay. I have this thing about throwing things to Marie at the last minute. Oh, will this work? And then sometimes she just looks at me and goes, no. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to play it through this microphone here. So is this mic still on? Still live? Okay. So hopefully this will sound good. And so I just invite you to just listen from a place of you don't know what's coming at you. And even if you recognize it, just try to listen as if you've never heard it before and it's brand new, okay?
Shoot, I can't remember her name. What is her name? Darn, here she comes. What is it? Sally? Sue? She just told me yesterday. What's the matter with me? This is going to be embarrassing. In case you haven't noticed, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. It just keeps going and going. Have you ever wondered why it talks in there? How does it decide what to say and when to say it? How much of what it says turns out to be true? How much of what it says is even important? And if right now you are hearing, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't have any voice inside my head, that's the voice we're talking about. And if you're smart, you'll take the time to step back, examine this voice, and get to know it better. The problem is you're too close to be objective. You have to step way back and watch it converse. While you're driving, you hear internal conversations like this. Wasn't I supposed to call Fred? I should have. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. He's going to be so mad. He may never talk to me again. Maybe I should stop and call him right now. No, I don't want to stop the car right now. Notice that the voice takes both sides of the conversation. It doesn't care which side it takes, just as long as it gets to keep on talking. When you're tired and trying to sleep.
Yeah. Sound familiar, anybody? Oh, I'm trapped in here. It's okay. Does anybody recognize that, what that's from? No? But we all know what we're talking about here, right? The voice that's telling you something right now, even while I'm speaking, it's trying to figure out what you just heard, and it's running in the background. That's from, gosh, I don't even remember. Look at that, just escaped me. The Untethered Soul, Michael Singer. That's the opening. That is the opening of the book, right there. The voice inside your head, which today's talk title is Freedom from Not Being Enough. And don't you think that the voice inside your head has a lot to do with that idea of not being enough? Right? How many, just raise your hand, how many times have you stopped yourself from doing something? It's okay, you can just keep your hand up, because my hand will be up the whole time. So, you know, I'm not embarrassed by it. But how many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because the little voice in your head said somebody else might object to it, or somebody might be upset, or what will relative so-and-so think, or what will they think at the place I work, or what will my friends do? Maybe I won't have any friends left. Like, the conversation goes on and on and on and on, right? All of those things come up and stop us in our tracks from living the life that we could be living. And I came across this quote this morning, which I just loved, and I don't remember the website I got it from. It goes like this: Jesus wasn't trying to make bad people good. He was inviting the sleeping to come alive. Right? He was inviting us to live our life, to connect within, to find that spiritual harmony within us that we could live our life from. And it doesn't matter to me how you dig into it or how you pull from it. You can be as faith oriented as you want. You can practice any religion you want. You can act as Jesus is your Savior or not as your Savior. It doesn't matter to me. What's important is that you recognize that there is that divine dwelling within each one of us that Jesus talked about. The Father and I are one. That's what he was talking about. It wasn't something out there. It was something for all of us to invite into our way of living. And so when I think of freedom, when I think of the freedom from not being enough, that's what it is. It's that idea of connecting down here, of going in, of sitting in prayer, of sitting in meditation, of taking a step back, as Michael Singer talks about, just taking a step back and noticing the noise, the racket that's going on inside of our heads. And now you could argue that that is our wounded child, right? So we could do some work around that. We could argue that that's our ego running, however you want to frame it. It's actually our friend. So one of the things that I learned going through ministerial school was this idea to adopt a friendship with that voice inside my head, to bring it in as my friend. And so what I like to do is imagine, so if you could just imagine this, imagine that you're driving the car and you've got this person sitting next to you that won't stop. They just won't stop talking. And you want to go right at the next intersection, but they want you to go left. Have you ever had that? Nobody have you ever had that for real? Like really somebody sitting in the, right? Well, so you know what that's like? Well, this is the same thing. This is that voice going, no, you should go left here because if you go, well, last time we went right, the whole conversation is running, but you're like, no, today I want to go right. And so here's a practice that I've adopted. I think that beautiful voice, that one that's trying to preserve me, doesn't want me to get hurt, doesn't want me to take any chances, wants to stay in that place of safety, is to just say, hey, it's okay. You know, I know you think that something bad's going to happen if we do this other thing. It's okay. I've got this, though. You can just chill. We'll just ride this out together. It'll be fine. Because it's probably operating from something that happened to you previously in life, where it's being triggered and it's thinking, oh, warning sign, danger, 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 danger. I need to protect you. I need to stop you. But you're not 7 years old anymore, or you're not 12 years old anymore, or you're not 16 years old anymore when those things are developed in us. So you have the ability to say, no, it's okay. I've got this. I know what we're doing. It's going to be okay. Even if we end up in the wrong place, it'll be fine. So that's what we can do. We can take a step back and say, it's okay, I've got this. And maybe it's something really hard. Maybe you're dealing with some anxiety around something. Maybe there's some trauma around something. Maybe you have friends that are talking badly about you and it's really upsetting you. Well, that might require a little more work. That might require us to take a little step further back and to have a conversation with ourselves, sort of soothing ourselves. Now, for me, when I'm in a stressful situation and I'm not really sure what I want to do about something, I will find an audiobook or a YouTube video or something very similar to what I just played, and I will put it on. And I will take that wisdom, because right now I'm in a state in my mind where I actually can't really get a concrete thought going. Ever had that where you're just kind of running circles around yourself in a tizzy, right? Okay, who's been in a tizzy? Okay. So some people spend their life in a tizzy. And if you're joining us online or you're watching this later, it's okay. You can put your hand up at home and nobody will see it, but you'll know that you're part of this conversation. So pretty much everybody here has experienced this in their lives, right? Now, something else I do is I also read scripture. I will read something from the teachings of Jesus because I think he's a really cool guy. Like he had it going on. He was not afraid. He was not afraid to do what he felt he was here to do and challenge anybody that was up against that, and at the same time be the most loving presence, accepting of anybody. Now that's a great mark to live to, I think. Like if we could all strive for that level of relationship and community and caring for one another, which begins with ourselves, right? We can't know how to love if we don't start here. But if we could all aspire to that, do you think we would have the problems we have going on in the world today? Right? Do you think people would be out to get what's theirs? That's mine. I deserve that. I don't care what happens to you. That's not how we want to operate. But it's incumbent upon us to do the work necessary and to call on whatever it is that works for you. I know what works for me. I have my go-tos. Whenever I'm stressing about money, which I do stress about money from time to time, I have 2 daughters going off to university that I'm scratching my head going, okay, how's that going to work? And so sometimes that little wheel can get running around in the head, right? That, oh, I don't know how it's going to be. Well, first of all, the tuition isn't due till August, the end of August, so I don't really need to worry about it right now. Would you agree? Right? But I could spend the whole night worrying about it, wake up tomorrow morning, and still be in the exact same place without having to worry about it really until the end of August when the check's due. So that's one. The other thing I do is Edwina Gaines has this great book, and the name escapes me right now, but maybe Reverend Patricia remembers, her Prosperity Consciousness book. Anyhow, Edwina Gaines has this great book about prosperity, and I'll just throw that on and just let her talk me off the ledge. That's sort of how I look at all of these things. I'll put on something and just, come on, just talk me off the ledge right now, please, because I'm hanging on for dear life here, and I need something to ground myself. And then once I've kind of got that grounding again, now I can stop listening and I can take the control back from my fear voice, from that little voice that's trying to concern me about everything that's going on in my life and everything that's not going on in my life. And I'm sure you're all similar, because I've asked a whole lot of questions over the last 3 years about how many people agree or could raise their hand. And it's amazing to me how many people raise their hand. So I'm thinking we're all pretty similar, right? We all have this brain that's running crazy around us, that wants to solve everything at once, wants to worry about everything at once, when maybe all there is to do right now is be here. That's all there is to do right now, is to be here. So we're here. Are we? Are we? We're here, right? Yeah. It's just an illusion. This is true. This also is an illusion. And so what if we approached everything in our lives that way? That, you know what, all I have to deal with right now is just what's happening right now in the moment. Just take this and love the heck out of it. When I did the Landmark Forum 8 million years ago, wasn't quite that long, but it feels like it. One of the things that I loved was the forum leader said, You need to love the very moment you're in because it's the only one you have. You know, the past is gone, the future doesn't exist. The only moment we have is the one we're standing in right now, or sitting, or laying down, or conversing with another person. So to be anywhere else mentally is a disservice to your own life. You know, I'm trying to think, there's a The Chosen, I think, is this series that was put out about the life of Jesus, about the New Testament, right? And I've watched. So you know, I was raised in a Catholic household, and my parents we went to church every Sunday, and we watched every single Jesus movie that came on TV at Easter and Christmas time, and I've seen all of them, the Ten Commandments, all of that stuff. Love those movies. And you know what I always loved, or what I always appreciate, is they always had somebody play the role of Jesus, and the camera would be on their face, and they just had these eyes that you felt like, oh, yeah, everything's okay now. So I always have it in my head that that's how he was, right? That he was just this guy that could just walk into a room and soothe everybody. That presence would just move out from him to others. And he also said, "These and greater things shall you do." So it seems to me that we could adopt that ability. We could be that loving, kind presence to others, to ourselves. So getting back to the voice, how many times is the voice telling you how terrible you are? So Nico shares that every time he sits at the piano, the voice is very critical of his piano playing. Yet all of us might say, Nico's pretty good at the piano. Right? We all might have a different opinion of Nico's piano playing, but for Nico, the struggle at the piano is always one of, oh. And I'm sure there's those moments where he feels like he just had it going on really great. So we can adopt that faith in ourselves, that trust that whatever we're doing it at the best we can. We can strive for that and get rid of the critical judgment of ourselves. Because I believe that if we work on the loving, compassionate caring for ourselves and bring that into our very essence and being, we're going to be able to give that out to others freely. See, because if you love yourself first, you can love your neighbor because you don't need anything from them. You're not putting the pressure on them to solve you because you're doing the work for yourself. So it always does begin within us first. We need to make that choice, that decision, and then do what is required to foster that within us. And getting back to Nico's piano playing, and I'm not sure if this is the same for him. I know for me as a musician, it was this way. Leslie was watching something yesterday on actors. There was a group of actors around a table, and I think it was Tom Hanks who was talking, and he said there's many times on set, and I think I understood the story, although I was actually doing something in the kitchen, I don't remember, so I was kind of listening with one ear. But I think he was talking about there's times when he does a performance, and he thinks, that was it. I just slayed that and nailed it. Everybody knows that I am the man. And nobody says a word. They could care less about what he did. And there's times where he shows up where he's thinking, I have nothing. I have no idea what I'm going to do. And he acts the scene out, and everybody comes up and goes, that was incredible. I have never been so moved by your acting. And so I know as a musician, there was many times I'd get off stage thinking, man, I nailed that. And it would be crickets. Yep. Be expecting people to say, that was the best. My own bandmates, nothing. They wouldn't even make eye contact, right? And there's times that I got off stage and I was like, I can't believe I made that mistake there. How could I not remember the end of that song? Da, 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 da. And people are coming up going, that was so incredible, man. You're such a great drummer. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So somewhere within ourselves, we need to learn to let all of that go and be the presence of love and community for ourselves and for others. That's what one of the beautiful things about Unity that had me keep coming back was that first day I stepped into Unity and I felt like, oh, I'm home. Anybody else ever feel that? Yeah, like I walked in and I felt, wow, this is exactly the place for me. And it was because of that idea, and it was because of that saying that we had at the opening of our service, which I'm thinking I might move to the opening of our service, just as a side note. Unity of Vancouver Island is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of light and love. Just stop there. Say it again. A growing, unfolding, expanding center of light and love. Like, what if we were just each that? Full stop. But it didn't stop there. Then came that great word that I'd never heard in something like that before. Mighty. Mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. And when that went up on the board or the screen and I read that, that's it. I was done. I was like, I have never heard a spiritual center ever speak in that kind of language. That's what we all can be. And so, two things I'd say. One is we can challenge others to be that. So how would we do that? How do you think we would challenge others to be that? Thank you. To be that ourselves. Because if we're that in the face of anybody, yelling, screaming, freaking out, having a bad day, whatever it is, we don't know what's going on in their world. Maybe they just lost somebody really important to them. We don't know. But we could be that loving presence for one another. We be it for ourselves, and then from the inside out, we share it. And we take that on. And it doesn't matter to me if you think that was taught by Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad. Doesn't matter. Hinduism, it's all the same. From everything I've read, we're all pointing to the same direction. You know, if we could just get rid of the needing to be right about it, that would really be helpful. But we're all pointing for the same thing. We're all striving to teach the same thing to one another. Community, loving presence, caring for one another, peace. But it starts with each one of us. That's what there is to do. I had some steps here, I think. I don't know. I had something. I wrote something down. Let's see what it is. Let's see what I wrote down for this. I'm going to rediscover the thoughts I had one day. So I had some steps here. So things we need to do. We need to process our fears. It's natural to feel afraid, right? And I heard this great thing that the other day that we're not afraid of the future. We're actually afraid of giving up what we already have. Even if I'll use the word, sucks. Because we know it, right? So we know what it looks like. So we're comfortable with it. So we might be afraid to actually give up what we already have. We need to be able to take that step into the unknown and trust that releasing that stuff will serve us. We need to trust ourselves to make good decisions for ourselves. Anybody here always rely on other people's opinion about what they should do? No? Okay. How about, have you ever? Yeah? Have you ever been in that space? Right. So I know I have. It's like I got to run it by somebody all the time. I don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. You know You know inherently what is right for you. As soon as you think it, as soon as it comes out of your mouth, you know it, and then you start, the little understanding brain starts going, no, 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 no. Well, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe, they did this and that person did that. I don't know. We start that dialogue. Just remember, that's that voice. We can go, hey, it's okay, I got this. Thanks for chiming in. It's been really great, but I'm driving the car, right? I got this. Put yourself first. Don't feel bad about doing this. And I'll use this analogy 100 times. I've used it 100 times. When you're on the plane and it's going down, what do they tell you to do? Put the mask on yourself first, because you can't help others unless you take care of yourself. They taught me that so much in ministerial school. That was like, I think they've redesigned the curriculum, and that is now an actual, every semester is self-care, is adopted into every semester. Because you can't be a presence for others and yourself if you're not healthy. So we need to take care of ourselves. Feel pain and joy as fully as you can. Lean into it. Lean into the pain. That's the way through it. It's not to avoid it. It's to actually lean into it. The same you would joy. Anybody here resist joyful moments? I will say sometimes I do, because my little head is like, I don't want that person to think that they've actually excited me about something, right? Because maybe there's a conflict between us. So I'm not going to enjoy this as fully as I could, because there's a bit of a conflict that we've had over the past. So I don't want to give that to them. See beauty in the simple things. I've had this kick about flowers. Linda King, thank you. Thank you for bringing these in today. This wasn't planned, but I'm just going to let you know that we're going to start a coordinated effort where people can sign up to bring flowers in for the Sunday. So you can take on the joyful experience of bringing whatever flowers you want in, and it'll be your Sunday, and you can bring them in, and then we'll have something nice here, because it's really all about the aesthetics of the camera. That's really what this is all about. It's not really about being here. It's about how good does this look on camera. So we've got the nice light behind it. We've got the flag with colors. We've got the beautiful flowers. Looks good. So we're aiming for really good camera aesthetics. Be kind to yourself. This world is harsh and critical enough. So be kind to yourself. Again, that voice, right? That voice in our head that wants to batter us down. Just love it. Talk to it. Let it know, hey, no, we're not going to go that way. No, that's not how we're going to think anymore. We're not going to think like that. Have a conversation with it. It's okay to do that. And then say yes to things. Say yes to things. Take the opportunity to just say yes. So I'll share this now, and I know we're going to have a slide on it, but Lisa called me earlier this week and said, hey, Elsie and I were thinking next Sunday, I know a bunch of people are going down to Victoria for the Daniel Name Odd service at 10:30 in the morning, and some of us aren't going, and we would like to come into the center at the usual time, and maybe Josh will play some music, and we'll talk, and we'll share ideas, and we'll just have community. And I was like, yes, that's a great idea. I don't need to be here for that. We don't need to control what people do. It's like, if you can get down to Victoria, I'll be there. I know Reverend Patricia will be there. A bunch of others will be there. Great. And if you can't, we're still going to be open here at 12:30 on Sunday. There's some things to figure out around who's going to open the doors and lock up and be responsible. But yeah, let's just say yes to things. Say yes as much as we can to stuff. As long as we're building community, coming from a place of love and caring for one another, what could go wrong? Yeah. So I invite you, let's spend a few moments now in prayer and meditation, if you will. Maybe Nico will assist me with some little piano sounds, some beautiful music behind this. So, yeah, if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, find a place on the seat in front of you or the floor and just soften your gaze. And I invite you to begin with noticing your breath. Whatever that means to you, just notice that you're breathing, feeling that air filling your lungs or your belly, breathing in through your nose. Nice, long, slow exhale. I invite you to take one hand and place it on your belly. And imagine that right where your hand is placed, just inside of you, is that beautiful light of life. It's a nice soft glow, much like the color of the sun. And it feels and seems like it pulsates with your breath. As you breathe in, it expands. As you exhale, it contracts. It's moving with you in harmony. I want you to invite the idea that this is Source, this is Creator, this is God, this is Universe, this is the light of life. And really invite that connection. And as we prepare for a few moments of silence together, we prepare to drift into that deeper connection. I want you to think to yourself or say to yourself internally, I and this source are one. I and this life are one. Hold that thought, repeat it, allow it to move through you, become you, move around you, because it is you. And I'll let you know when it's time to come back. As we prepare to come back, I invite you to imagine that light still glowing within you. And this light is now taken all of those conversations of fear, of not being enough, of lack, not enough love, that light is now moving outside of you. It's drifting away further and further until it disappears. And as you're ready, with an inhale or an exhale, you can open your eyes, come back to this space. Namaste.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. 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 Christ within me. Hallelujah. Christ within me. Hallelujah. Christ within me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It was a beautiful talk, Thomas. Whenever that voice is getting me down, I'm always reminded of something my dad said to me when I was 7 years old. I was watching my favorite cartoon, which was Beast Wars Transformers, because I was 7, and it had this theme. It went, Beast Wars, big explosions, cue the explosions. 7-year-old Nico thought this was the coolest thing ever, and I would watch it every night. So, Papa, 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 do you hear this song? Do you hear the one the guitar goes? You know, the drums going. I guess I kind of like music, and he goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. I wish I could do that. I wish I knew how to do that. And he just thought that would be missing a beat, and he didn't even make a big deal about it. He just goes, and I'll remove the sailor-inspired language that he used because that's who he was. He goes, well, Nick, you could write that. Blew my 7-year-old mind. So whenever I'm like, I can't. Well, you know, you can do that. Someone else did it. Thank you. That's the feeling of next time I see you, I'm going to be married. That's what that sounds like. It's just a bit of joy was coming out of my pores.
If there's going to be flower aesthetics, I want them too. Thank you, Nico.
My
That
pleasure.
was
man.
wonderful. You can do that, and you did do that.
Apparently, I didn't know what was going to happen, but once it started happening, I was enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah. The voice was quiet.
So we have some announcements. So there, you already know this, but there will be no regular service here because we're encouraging as many people as possible to go down to the service in Victoria next week, where Daniel Namod will be doing the message and the music, so it'd be something special. However, if you are here, Lisa and Elsie are going to have some fun with you. We do not yet know whether we will be able to Zoom it next week, but watch for the Thursday newsletter, which a lot of you seem to forget to read. The details will be in that. Don't need to tell you any more about. Well, yes. So. Okay. We'll know. And as you know, you're now getting regular Thursday news blast and a Sunday morning reminder. Oh, so that's a good thing, right? Okay, so Daniel is world famous in all New Thought and really sacred communities. He sings songs that are sacred to any faith tradition. They're wonderful, they're uplifting, they're solemn, they're amazing. He's amazing. Please come. And tickets are on sale today. We have a credit card reader. A credit card reader, you can pay that way or with good old-fashioned cash or whatever. That's fine. You can read that. The next one, Judith. Judith is sitting right there. Judith is quite an expert on the Edgar Casey readings, and she will be offering a 4-week class that examine the same things we teach, said in a different way. There's a sign-up sheet in the other room, and she'd love to have you there. Thank you for our abundance. Thomas said some good things today about our abundance of all good things, the mightiness to grow. I want to thank you for all the ways that you do help, the way you jump in and say, hey, I'll do something for Sunday morning, and then say, hey, I'll do a workshop, and hey, I'll make coffee. So thank you for all the ways in which you participate. whether it's financially or your time or all the amazing new ideas you come up with. We thank you for them. And I think we have thank you song, don't we, Bart? Sharon?
Let's do it.
Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God, then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more, so get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do His thing. Look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to, so get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do His thing. Sun's gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant to see it, then dig it up to see if it's growing. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do His thing. One more time. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do His thing.
Give me the Elvis on it. Give me the Elvis on it. The Jerry Lee. Put the Jerry Lee on it.
I was trying to ask Rev Tallmans to dance out and down the hall and dance the kids in here, but he had no idea what I was trying to say. So I was going to run and get the kids quick, which means now I have to keep talking, saying nothing until she gets back with the children. Pardon me? Oh, just be in the moment. My new date?
Digs.
Oh. A new digs are great as soon as I get some furniture in there. Yeah. Hmm? Well, it's wonderful to be handy here where anybody who needs me any time of night or day knows where I am. That's a good thing I kind of retired, isn't it? Here they come. At least one is.
I see them. Oh.
Come on down. Sharon? Oh, wants to go to Dad?
There's one. Oh. Oh.
Well, let's say to this one child and know that the other child in the other room will sense our intention.
Get their shoes on.
Pardon? Oh,
They get their shoes on.
okay. Okay. Oh. Walking on his own. Run. Come on. All right.
It was worth the wait. Well worth
It was. They're beautiful, adorable children. There we go. All right, children, we see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. Thank you for coming, children. Thank you for bringing them, Betty and Grandma, Dad. Margaret will be available in the library for prayer service if anyone needs a little one-on-one support this afternoon. Thank you, Margaret, for the camera. Thank you, Marie, Stella, Thomas, Stephen from Arbutus Sound, all the people who worked and continue to work to bring us perfect technical skills. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, let us repeat that mighty vision again. Unity, Vancouver Island, is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of light and love, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. And thank you, Sharon and Brooke, for being with the children this morning. All right, prayer for protection, followed by our peace song. The light that is God surrounds us. We are one with the light. The love that is God enfolds us. We are one with the love. The power that is God protects us. We are one with the power. The presence that is God watches over us. We are one with the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is His. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With love as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Oh dear. Keep going, you other. The joy is found. I should know this. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Sometimes we play it here. Oh, okay. I'll play it lower next time. That's the.
This sounds too high for Michael.
Oh, you just gotta, yeah. Just if it's like that, you just lighten up. That's the most important thing.